What up with you guys? You know who it is. It's your boy John Mike, and today we're going to be doing a comparison between the Komplete Kontrol S61 and the Komplete Kontrol A61. You may be in a place where you're trying to decide, should I buy the S61, the flagship, or should I go with the entry-level A61 situation that I've seen? Because there's a stark price difference between the S61 or the S series of anywhere, whether you're going to S49 or S25, and the A series. There's a stark difference between both series in terms of price. You're talking about, if you're getting the S61, you're talking about $699, $700 for the flagship model, and you're talking about $249 for the entry-level A series. So that's a big jump leap. So you're probably looking at this like, which one should I buy? Which one should I invest in, and why? What's the difference between these two that separate them? Now, first off, they both come with software. They both come with the Komplete Kontrol software. You have different packages that you can buy that may get you more and more sounds. And these keyboards do not come with any sounds built into them. They do not have any type of built-in sounds that you can use or what have you. It's all software. This is a controller that's meant to control the software. So let's dig into it and let's talk about the stark differences between them. First off, the keys, the keypad, that's the most important thing. How do they feel? How do they play? How do they kind of go? Now, just by looking at it, it seems to me that the keys, this is visual. I don't have a tape measure. I didn't use a tape measure to measure this out. But just by looking, it appears to me that the keys on the S61 are just a hair, maybe longer, or these may be just a hair thicker. I can't really tell, but there's a definite visual size difference. Like, these definitely look thicker than the keys over here, which kind of goes into the playing or what have you. You know, and these keys are a little bit more clunky, as you can hear. They make a little bit more noise when you're playing them, as opposed to this one, which isn't as noisy. It does have some noise, but it isn't as noisy. The keys on here, they feel pretty good. They don't feel bad, but there is a difference in the feel. This does have a little bit more of a premium kind of bounce or feel to them. I just feel a little bit more premium when I'm playing on this. And these don't feel cheap by no means. There's a difference. There's a difference in the quality of the feel. I like the feel on this better than I do on this. If I was going to play something and I had to choose, I would play this one before I play this one, just because of the feel. Now, the other differences of this, we'll just kind of go left to right and kind of deal with it. You have the pitch bend and the modulation wheel that's pretty much the same on both, but this one has a smart strip on the S61 versus this one not having that. So if you're used to using something like this, you know, to kind of do some things, do some modulation or some effects, then that's an added bonus. Button scheme here, you have a fixed velocity mode, 2 octave buttons up and down or what have you. And then over here, you just have 2 octave buttons, but you can access the fixed velocity and all of that by using the shift key, I guess, to shift and hit those keys to go into those modes and edit that. Over here, you have the transport controls. As you can see, the lights, and you may be able to tell just by looking, it's a little bit more brighter. This is lit up a little bit more than this is over here in this area. You can see the colors a little bit better. Like, that green pops a little bit more than that green does, and this red pops, and this white pops a little bit more than that pops, or what have you. And these are all lit up while these aren't. So those are some things to look at. Now, the buttons feel, this one has a little bit more of a rubber feel and a lot less clickiness. You listen to it, as opposed to this one. So you have to keep that in mind. There's a lot of noise when pressing buttons on this one, as opposed to pressing buttons over here. You're not getting as much noise with that or what have you. Of course, it has the same transport control situation kind of going on. You have a mute and solo button here. You do have access to the mute and solo, but you have to shift to use them. And they got them controlled by the little directional buttons right here that you have. You have preset buttons. Then here on the S61, you have a whole nother set of options, and it's hard to read here because of the angle, but scene, pattern, track, key mode, and clear. And these are all things you can use in your DAW or use in like machine for different operations. You don't have access to those things here. Now you can access key mode by hitting the shift and get over here. You have key mode here, but things like pattern, I don't really see a dedicated button or shift command for like pattern or you know, some of those other ones or what have you. So let's talk about the screens. Of course, here on the S61, you have these big vibrant screens with all of these different information, and you can browse through your products and your presets over here. You have control over that, whereas on here, you don't have those big screens, but you do have a little kind of baby screen here, and it does give some information. I found and it's mainly probably because I've gotten so used to the big screens, I find this a little bit more cumbersome to try to read the information on here and what it's saying, and I can go through presets and load those different things up from here. Just feels a little bit more cumbersome trying to see what's going on here on that or what have you. But they also have the encoders. So they both share the encoders, 8 encoders right here, 8 down here the same way. And they are touch sensitive on both. So if I touch here, you kind of get different, it lets you know what you're touching, and you can kind of see that it's kind of a, before you even touch the knob or turn the knob, you can touch it and get information of what you're touching. You get that here. It's a little bit better. Of course, you got to read it here on this little screen, but you do get that on there where it actually tells you what's what as you touch it, which can be really good. Like if I want to control the reverb, oh, that's reverb. It tells me on that little screen. I can actually turn that and adjust the reverb. You have 8 buttons here for controlling other options and selecting different things here, whereas up here you don't have those 8 buttons. Of course, they're not needed because you don't have the screen to give you feedback. You have over here, you have the browser plug-in mixer. You have a dedicated mixer button for when you're working in like Ableton or Cubase or Logic or any of the other supported DAWs that they have. You have an instance button for, you know, jumping in and doing instance, and a MIDI button, and then setup here. Over here, you only have 3 buttons. You have a browser button, you have the plug-in button, you have a track button, and then you can shift and select the MIDI. You can shift again and select instance. You don't have a dedicated mixer button because that's not needed, I guess. And then you have the rotary encoder right here, which kind of allows you to go through different things. So I can kind of scroll left or right, go up or down, turn and go through my presets. Same with this one. I can go up, down through my products, scroll through my presets, all of that. Now this one is a little bit louder than this one is. See if I turn in this one. And they both feel the exact same, but this one is just a little bit noisier than this one is. So those are the different trade-offs between the different boards. Of course, this one has a lit LED strip down here. There's an LED strip on each of the keys, which lets you know and indicate things like key switches down here, or maybe where different sounds are mapped. And then it just kind of lights up as well. Like if I come out of here, you can see, you can see that kind of playing as I'm playing different chords. The lights are lighting up. Helps you with things like scale mode and arpeggios and things like that as well. It's really, really cool. But this, of course, does not have the lighting strip, and it's not needed. So those are the sacrifices that you're making by going for the A61 versus the S61. Of course, the major thing is the price. They both control the software. You can both use them to control other DAWs like Ableton and Machine and Logic. I'm going to do some videos on those individually. but you can also use those for that as well. So those are the major differences between them. I'm not going to really dig into the software because the software hasn't really changed. I'll throw a little link up there in the corner. You'll see where you can actually check out the software, because it hasn't really changed much since last year at all. It's just pretty much the same the Komplete Kontrol software is. These are just controllers to control the Komplete Kontrol software. So I hope this helps you. Hope this bless you. You know how we do it. If you're new to the channel or all those things like that, go ahead and hit the like button, the subscribe button, turn on notifications, do all those things that you do on the videos and stuff when you're watching them or whatever. So that's all I wanted to show you guys today. Hope this helped you. We'll holler at you guys on the next video. I'm out. Holla at your boy.